Welcome to the September 7th of 2022 study meeting of the Livonia City Council. We will begin the meeting by the offering of the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Kathleen McIntyre. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. McIntyre. This is a study meeting, and we'll set the agenda for the 1953rd regular meeting of the Livonia City Council, which will be a voting meeting and will take place on September 26th of 2022. I'll note that we have 6 members of the council here. The only person absent is Councilman McCullough, who is currently abroad representing the United States in a ball hockey tournament somewhere in Europe. We don't have any special commendations or anything at the beginning of this meeting. I do not have any announcements, so we will go directly to audience communication. There is 30 minutes set aside at the beginning of the meeting for any audience communication. At this time, if you have anything you'd like to address the council with, please approach the podiums. That's not on the agenda tonight. Going once, going twice. We have no audience communication. Does anybody on the council have anything they'd like to announce or address at this point? I see none. So this will be a study meeting. There will be no votes taken this evening. The council members will, however, offer motions either approving, denying, or referring a resolution to the committee of the whole. Those motions will be voted on at the next regular meeting, which is set for September 26th of 2022. With that being said, at this time, we will start with item number 1, a block party request coming to us from Barb Ferrara to be held on Saturday, October 1st, 2022 from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Perth Street between Arden and Berwick Streets. Is Ms. Ferrara here? Please come to the podium, ma'am. Good evening. When you get to the podium, tell me your name and address, please.
Barb Ferrara, 31570 Perth.
Good evening, ma'am. Can you give us a little bit of information in regards to your block party?
Yes, we're having a block party. It's only one street, and it is the first annual one we're having. I want to meet my neighbors, so I thought, why not have a block party? So we're requesting that the road is closed from Arden to Berwick, and it's not a through street at all. So it doesn't go through. It's just a small one block area, one street.
Sounds great. And you're going to have food and any kind of special events or anything?
Yes, since our budget is 0, we're having hamburgers and hot dogs. We're playing games. We're having a bounce house for the kids. We're having a s'more area. We're having cornhole. Cornhole, is that it? Yeah. We're having tournaments, a couple kids games, just some fun, barbecue, potluck.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Ms. Toy.
Mr. Chair, Livonia loves a good block party, and I commend you for doing this and getting to know your neighbors. And I'm going to ask for an approving resolution for your day and put it on consent if we can.
I see no objections to that being on the consent agenda. The city also has something called a neighborhood grant program where you can request up to $500 to support things like block parties and neighborhood activities. I think you missed the deadline for this year. The deadline was in May, but definitely look at that next year.
Next year.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Donovic.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just quickly, thank you for taking the initiative to do this. There are a lot of blocks in the city of Livonia, and I wish more residents were able to put together block parties. We have a lot of block parties that happen in the community, but when I hear that new ones are starting, it's pretty cool, especially from my position here where I've sat here and some petitioners have come before the city and they've been having block parties for 10, 20, 30 years. So I look forward to seeing you over the next couple years that I'm here, and maybe your neighbors can take it to the next level and, for the next 10, 15 years as well. So congratulations and good luck.
Well, thank you. You're all invited.
Great.
Sounds good.
Done?
We appreciate that.
Okay. Thanks.
Sometimes people don't want to be our friends.
Most of the time.
Okay, you're all set.
Okay.
You're on the consent agenda.
Thank you.
By way of process, does anybody in the audience have any audience communication on item number 1? I see none. We will move on to item number 2. That is a waiver petition coming to us from the Planning Commission. Petition 2022-07-02-15, submitted by Phamily Pharmacy, requesting to add a drive-up window to the east end of the retail shopping center at 29195 through 29215 Plymouth Road, located on the south side of Plymouth Road between Garden Avenue and Middlebelt Road in the northwest quarter of Section 36. Do we have anybody here from Phamily Pharmacy? Yes. Please come up to the podium. If you need an agenda and you're in the audience, the agendas are outside the door. I would ask that you approach the podium as I am calling your item up. Good evening, sir. Your name, please?
Good evening. My name is Amir Saleh, and I'm with Phamily Pharmacy of Livonia, 29195 Plymouth Road.
Okay, what's your position?
I'm the owner, operator, of the Phamily Pharmacy and pharmacist in charge.
Okay, so sounds good. Can you tell us what you're planning on doing here at all?
Yeah, so I'm planning on including a drive-through window in my new pharmacy, hopefully to make ease of access for my patients to pick up their prescriptions and drop off their prescriptions.
Okay. And Mr. Taramina, do you have some details to run us through?
Sure. So this is treated as a special use or waivered use. This is the Plymouth Shops shopping plaza, which is on the south side of Plymouth Road, just east of Middlebelt, as was indicated. It's a center that's about 14,000 square feet with 5 units. Phamily Pharmacy would occupy the easterly end of the plaza. It's a 20-foot wide unit, about 2,000 square feet. On the west side, you can see from the aerial photograph, the building sits right on that property line and is immediately adjacent to a shared access drive where Big B Coffee operates a similar drive-up operation. In this case, Phamily Pharmacy would be operating on the opposite side of the business. There's a 20-foot setback here. That driveway is sufficient for both a stacking lane as well as a bypass lane. There's parking available, as you can see, in the front of the building with parking on the north side of the adjacent to Plymouth Road as well as adjacent to the building. This is an angled parking lot, so this is one-way traffic. There is additional parking located at the rear of the building for about 40 parking spaces. Planning Commission reviewed this carefully. They had a lot of questions regarding the flow of traffic. They felt that this pharmacy operation would not impose a great deal of traffic to the area, so they limited the approval to this user only. Any change of use or change of operator would have to come back to the City Council for approval. They also conditioned the approval on certain repairs being done to the parking lot. You may recall from driving from this site several months ago, we approved facade renovations. Those facade renovations are under construction right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Donovic.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the petitioner for being here, and good luck on your new business. I live right there. I drive by the plaza every day. You guys are currently doing an extensive amount of work to the building. It's really exciting because that plaza right there, right next door, just east of the Big B Plaza, and that's been totally revamped. It looks beautiful, and now this plaza is being redone, and right across the street from Chick-fil-A, and many millions of dollars being spent right there. So it's really exciting to see all the business and activity happening on that corner. And here we have a new family business, and I think, especially in today's world, people really like drive-through windows, and with this being permitted only to your business, I have no issue with it. I think it'll be very helpful to your business and to the success of that business. So I'd like to offer an approving on consent if there's no objections from my colleagues.
Mr. Chair.
Vice President Tolley.
Thank you. If I may, to the petitioner, sir, do you have diabetic supplies as well there?
I will.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's real handy on a drive-through. I concur with my colleague. That's just a big plus.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to walk in. I know you guys are pretty slick at putting your pharmacies way in the back, so you got to go through the store, which is really good. But it's also so handy to have those drive-throughs, and thank you. Thank you for all you're doing for Livonia.
Of course, it's all for the ease of the community, and honestly, it's mostly for the elderly, and especially with all the, we just got out of the COVID, and now monkeypox is coming around. And I know everyone is just, no one wants to really go in contact, and I think drive-through is just the most convenient thing for everyone.
Correct. Thank you very much, sir.
Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other comment from the council? Any audience communication on item number 2? I see none. You have an approving on consent, and you do not have to come back to the next meeting.
Thank you,
You're all
appreciate
set.
it.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for your time, everyone. Have a good day.
Item number 3 is a waiver petition coming to us from the Planning Commission, petition 2022070216, submitted by LAG Development requesting to redevelop the Lafontaine Hyundai of Livonia dealership, including construction of an addition, modifying both the interior and exterior of the building and altering the site's parking and landscaping at 34715 and 34801 Plymouth Road on the south side of Plymouth between Stark and Wayne in the northwest quarter of Section 33. Good evening, your name, please?
Hey, good evening. My name is Gary Landroche with Lafontaine Automotive Group. I run LAG Development, which is Lafontaine's development division. I guess I'm available for questions.
Okay. Mr. Tormina, will you run us through the details?
Thank you. LAG, or Lafontaine Auto Group, is the new owner of what was formerly the Ralph Thayer dealerships located on Plymouth and Laurel Avenue. This is the Hyundai dealership, so this is the property that is at the southwest corner of Plymouth and Laurel. Council may recall this recent rezoning application involving the former Doughboy Donut Shop, which has recently been demolished and incorporated into this site. So this site now consists of 2 parcels, total of about 2.6 acres. It has frontage both on Plymouth Road as well as Laurel Avenue. The building, as you can see from this aerial photograph, currently is L-shaped. It's about 14,000 square feet in size. They will be adding to this building about 6,700 square feet here in the northwest corner, bringing the total building to about 21,415 square feet. Over half of the space will be utilized for the auto repair operations of the dealership. There'll be several other uses as would be expected, including the showroom and sales, parts, administration, and other customer amenities. But the new space really would be devoted largely to the repair business. There would be 15 work bays, there will be 3 overhead doors facing north in this, in part of this addition. There would be stacking for 11 cars, including 4 inside the building. This would be the customer service area with stacking in front. Then the driveways along both Plymouth Road and the one on Laurel would be retained, with the caveat that the Laurel Avenue approach will be gated and a knock box installed, and that will be restricted to public safety personnel only. So that was one of the items of concern of the Planning Commission, the continued use of Laurel for some offloading of vehicles. We feel that this will go a long way to help prevent that. The other driveways will remain, and you can see with the donut shop gone, what this does is it allows for complete circular access around the building, particularly on the west side where you've got these extended aisleways that now extend the full length of the property. Landscaping will be redone throughout the site, especially the areas that will be impacted by the new construction. This is the floor layout. I won't go into to the details of that, but this is the exterior of the building. What they're proposing are a complete remodeling of the building. That facelift will include the use of materials such as composite metal panels, EIFS, and burnished block. So Planning Commission spent some time with them on the design of the building. Some changes were made, and a complete photometric plan was also provided. All the light poles will be limited to a height of 20 feet, and they are willing to and show on the plans PRDA improvement, streetscape improvements along the frontage of the property in 4 different sections.
Thank you, sir. Anybody from the council with questions? Ms. Toy?
Thank you. If I may go to the petitioner, is it Mr. LaRose?
Yes.
Mr. LaRose, can you give any of your background as it relates to being part of LaFontaine or this group?
You talking about the
How
deal?
long you've been in the business, et cetera? Yeah.
Me personally, I've been with LaFontaine for about 7 years, but actually prior to that, I was their general contractor for about 16 years. So I've been working with them for over 20 years.
Great, great.
LaFontaine is it's one of the premier auto groups, the dealership groups in the state of Michigan. They are just going gangbusters, right? Acquiring stores, putting new stores, whatever. They've been, they were really anxious to get into this Livonia market. They had an opportunity with Ralph Thayer going out, that they purchased all of his stores there. So, needless to say, the stores were a little bit neglected and run down and needed a little love and attention.
Sure.
So this is the first of 3 programs that we're gonna have before you. We also have full image programs to do for the Volkswagen store and the Mazda store.
Super.
Yeah, so we're really, we're trying to get acclimated, get our bearing here in the location, and then try to get something going to, to fix up these buildings, to follow the manufacturer's recommendations, guidelines. We're trying to come in and make a difference in the community and be a part of the community. So of course, we've had our issues. We're still feeling our way around a little bit. One of the things that we've done is we've got an isolated lot down west on Plymouth Road, which is where we receive vehicles. We've had some challenges with car haulers coming on Laurel, and to Mr. Tormino's point, that was part of what drove this idea of closing that approach.
Gate,
yeah. So the gate was welcomed by the fire department because they're the only ones that have access, but that gives them full access to the building if need be. So it takes away the temptation for a car hauler to come down there and want to get in there, unload on the site, on the side street. And so,
Great.
so really, this is the first one we're doing, and it's all based on the manufacturer's, like I say, mandated programs that we're doing. And in this case, we didn't comply with the requirements for service or some of the imaging, right? So service was what was needed to be added to this, which is what we're doing.
Yes.
And it was a natural fit for us to acquire the donut shop parking lot there. That's as small as it is, it was a big help for circulation on this site. You've all seen these car dealers, they just cram them in, right? So if we can create circulation and promote safety, that's always a win-win for everybody. And I think with our efforts to clean this up and make it desirable and comply with the streetscape fence and plantings that are along Plymouth Road there and the rest of that corridor, we're really trying to make this, the destination that it should be for this community.
Well, I appreciate, and I'm sure we all do, you coming in and, sprucing it up, so to speak, because it needed it bad. I've been on Plymouth Road
It has.
for 40-some years in my business, and there's been a lot of changes, and a lot of good changes, thanks to our planning department and others
Certainly.
in our city, and we appreciate all the efforts you're putting forward, too.
Thank you.
I like that gate idea. That's very, not only unique, but it's very thoughtful of you, and with the box, et cetera. The landscaping was what I was going to ask about, but you've kind of included that, what you've talked about. So I'm glad to hear that, because a lot of those buildings, that road is one of our older roads in Livonia, and a lot of those buildings are built right up to the sidewalk area, so it's hard to put in landscaping sometimes. I know yours
It is.
recesses a bit.
It is,
But,
and truthfully, landscaping isn't the favorite thing for a car dealer, right?
Right.
We try to avoid fruit and nut trees, right?
Sure,
The messy trees
sure.
for vehicles, right?
Yes.
Needless to say. But we're going beyond just the streetscape landscaping. We're really making everything into compliance. We did have a neighbor who lives behind us who came in and voiced some concerns about the condition of the screening wall that's back there. We've been cleaning that up. We've power washed it. It's part of our overall plan with this renovation is to clean that, to improve the landscaping really closest to the residents.
Great.
They live there every day. It's their home. We
Yep.
can appreciate that. So again, we're just trying to be good neighbors and fit in with the community as best we can.
Well, thank you very much again, and Mr. Chair, I'll offer an approving resolution, and you can decide if you'd like that on consent or not, sir.
Okay. Anybody else from the council? Mr. Donovic.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks for being conscious of the car haulers, as we have a few dealerships up and down Plymouth Road. We've seen car haulers park in the street, and in the center lane, which is a big safety hazard. We've seen them pull into neighborhood streets, and kudos to you for being conscious of that and being aware that the residents have to live there every day, and being trying to drive around car haulers on Plymouth Road or drive around car haulers in their personal neighborhoods. Those roads aren't meant for that. So thank you for doing that, and just thanks for being great partners with the community. You're taking old dealership and just dumping tons of money into it, making it look beautiful. It's pretty exciting to see this transition and this whole area come to life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a approving motion on consent. Is there anybody else from the council or the audience who would like to address item number 3? If you don't mind having a seat, sir, we have somebody approaching the podium. Good evening, ma'am. Your name and address, please.
My name is Sunday Dupuis. I live at 11196 Laurel Street, kitty corner from them. And I want to commend them. They've really worked on the car haulers. It was 2 or 3 a day. Now it's 1 every, I don't know, maybe a month. So I want to commend them for that.
That's great.
And
Awesome.
that's it.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always good to have fans, right? We have no audience communication or further communication from the council. You have an approving on consent, so you do not have to come back to the next meeting.
Terrific.
Thank you for
Thanks so much.
the updates and doing business in Livonia.
And we'll see you back soon. Like I say, we've got 2 more coming behind this.
I have
good.
one
Thanks
other
so
thing
much.
to-
Sure.
We look forward to your joining the Livonia Chamber of Commerce. Shameless plug for our Chamber of Commerce. And,
Absolutely. I'm surprised we haven't done it already.
and maybe you have, and we'll look forward to the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, I think we probably have. We have a pretty strong grassroots division within our organization, and really it's a whole team that does nothing but gets involved in local communities where we're at. It's kind of their theme, and it's worked out very well for us. So,
Well, we'll
like I
send the
say, if
Girl
we're not
Scouts.
already, I'm surprised.
Well, you may be, and we're obviously a separate legal organization from the chamber, but we have a chamber that works very closely with the
Big
city,
money
and
people.
we all come to the ribbon cuttings when we can, and we're
Terrific.
really appreciate our business community, so thank you.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Item number 4, a waiver petition from the Planning Commission, petition 2022070217, submitted by Insight Management Consulting, LLC, requesting to utilize a Class C liquor license, allowing for the sale of beer, wine, and spirits for consumption on premises in connection with the operation of the existing movie theater. That's Phoenix Theaters at 17310 Laurel Park Drive North, located within the Laurel Park Place Shopping Center on the northwest corner of 6 Mile Road in Newburgh, in the southwest quarter of section number 7. Good evening, your name, please,
Hi, Devin Cameron,
and your position.
Inventory and Supply Chain Analyst for Insight Management and all Phoenix Theaters.
Okay. Would you like to tell us why you're seeking this?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So we've slowly been implementing beer and wine sales. We have a Class C license because that's what the seller that we found in Wayne County, but we don't sell spirits or cocktails or draft beer or anything like that, any locations. It's just canned beer and wine. And it's gone really well. We do it at 4 of our 6 locations, and we've seen a benefit as far as mostly, I mean, it's not particularly monetary, but mostly it's being competitive in the market. And that's where we see the most benefit is from customer feedback and just having every amenity that it seems like most movie theaters have and having a full concession menu. So we're in the process of trying to build out that same menu for every location. And this is the next one, so the 5th one.
Thank you. Mr. Tormina, do you have any details to add?
Just would like to point out that, as with all of these Class C licenses or on-premise licenses, there are separation requirements. In this case, 1,000 feet from other active on-premise licenses. There are 5 such licenses within 1,000 feet that are active, or excuse me, that are on-premise licenses, Class C and B hotel licenses, Grand Tavern, Bar Louie, and then 3 hotels, the Livonia Marriott, Courtyard by Marriott, and Holiday Inn. So that will require council to waive the 1,000-foot separation requirement. The other separation requirement, 400 feet from any church or
entertainment. And, you know, you guys have invested in your theaters with the seating, with the amenities, with everything. And I frankly think it's nice to be able to enjoy a cocktail. And I would just like to also ask if you've considered, because with the Class C, now they have all sorts of nice canned cocktails. And Mark, the canned cocktails are permitted with the Class C, right?
Yeah, it's my understanding that that's what they intend to provide here, is only in their original packaging, but I'll,
Yeah, we do.
You said beer and wine, but
Yeah, we do serve in original packaging just to make
Right.
it easier to identify. Yes, we can serve canned cocktails
They're
there.
very-
We
there are
have
a lot
them on the menu at other locations,
Okay,
and they do
excellent.
well.
There are a lot of
Do you
very
have
nice.
a Do you have a brand you like? Because I'm in charge. I'm in charge of that.
No,
Several.
you a
and
list.
Actually, I do, and so if you, I think we have your contact information.
Oh yeah, you can email me because we don't have a set menu. for
But
that.
I usually only drink like one per movie, so I can't.
Most everybody does.
Okay, I can't commit. I can't
Yeah,
commit to
there's-
like 6 during a show.
There's never any issues with someone trying to have 2 or 3. They have one. They go in. They
Well,
watch the movie.
they fit nicely, and that's the reason I generally support these kinds of venues for adult beverages, because people don't go there, right, to pay a lot of money for a drink and,
Right. There are a certain amount of Class C licenses within 1,000 feet, but this
Yep.
is not a bar.
Yep.
By
Yep.
any means.
Well, I think this is going to be great editorially, so.
Anybody else on the council? Ms. Toy.
thank you. And if I may, to the petitioner, I remember when AMC over on Haggerty Road had the same kind of thing, because that was gonna help cure all their ills.
Well, they have
Yeah.
other things going on.
And I'm not against it by any means, even though I'm a non-drinker, but I was just interested in what kind of, I heard you talk about how, your clientele kind of is asking for it. And I just wondered how prevalent that really is, and what kind of, what do you think that'll generate?
No, I mean, it doesn't add a ton to our per caps. It's not going to be an overwhelming amount of profit coming from that. It's a very small part of what we sell. And oftentimes you may get some customers requesting it, or saying, oh, well, the other theater does that.
Right.
But what we see most often is just we generate positive feedback from having it. They go, oh, look, you can do this. Or just like, oh, you can get an icy there and refill it if you want to. It just creates more positive feedback rather than sort of satiating the needs of a small percentage of clientele who want or need to have an alcoholic beverage. So
Sure, no, and I can appreciate that. I'm not real sure what the local bar units around there will appreciate about that, but that's okay, because a lot of times you go to the show and then go out and have a little dinner or
yeah,
snack
that's
or
exactly
whatever.
right. Is
Yeah.
if you the
But
more
it's an
popular you
add-on.
make your theater, the
Yeah.
more it boosts the areas around it.
No,
So,
I appreciate that. I just wondered. Appreciate your
yeah, thank you very
coming
much.
in and sharing your ideas with us as well.
No
Thank
problem.
you, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else on the council? I see none. I'll just add, listen, I remember going to this location when it was the AMC 10, and then when the AMC 20 opened up, this is back in like the late 90s, your place became a ghost town, and you've done an amazing job bringing this location back to now my kids know your theater is the theater in Livonia, not the other one.
Hey,
But
thank
it's
you.
just great to see that switch from something that was almost dead, new operators, to coming back and being fully alive. It's awesome.
And you guys hit the nail on the head earlier when you talked about investment. It's something, I mean, I can't speak to AMC, but, with our seats, and we're bringing Atmos now to some of those auditoriums this year, and we're planning to upgrade the seats as well, because they're starting to break down a little bit. So just continually making it better and competitive, because if the AMC, starts to see decreased attendance, you'd rather have them come to our place than, say, Novi or somewhere else.
We want you all to succeed, but
That's
Thank
right.
you.
we're proud of what you did.
That's
Mr.
right.
Donovic.
I think the president told me that if we vote to approve this, that Tom Cruise would come here with Top Gun and give us some sort of accommodation. So just
Hey, you know what? That's one of the longest running films we've had, maybe since the days of Titanic. It's crazy how well it's doing,
Kinda similar.
and how many weeks. If we go long enough and we become like the longest tenured theater, perhaps he'll stop by.
Well, here we are.
Here we are.
We have an approving for the regular on both of those items that you need. Do we have any audience communication at all? I see none. We will see you back at the next regular meeting.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it.
Okay, we're gonna move to item number 5, this is a waiver petition from the Planning Commission, petition 2022070218, submitted by BBS Distilleries LLC, requesting waiver use approval to expand the existing on-premises liquor license to include an outdoor seating area and to amend Council Resolution 354-21 to expand the hours of operation in connection with the serving of alcohol at 27600 Schoolcraft Road, located on the north side of Schoolcraft, between Inkster and Cardwell in the southeast quarter of Section 24. Good evening, your names, please?
Jason Mitchell.
Katie Nelson?
And you brought samples, right? No, I'm just, tell us what are you looking to do?
Basically, we're trying to open up our hours a little bit. We're getting a little bit, well, actually, a lot of demand for more food. So we'd like to expand on that as well and be able to open up for lunchtime. Evening time, we're getting a lot of food in the evening. People are looking for things. Right now, it's pretty much McDonald's. So if we can offer that, we want to offer that to the community.
Okay, what kind of food are you looking to offer?
Right now, we do like, you know, the pub style pizzas, and then we do a lot of smoked foods. We got brisket, ribs, wings, corned beef smoked.
Okay.
We do, you know, variations of that, sandwiches or meals. And
All from scratch on site or no?
yep.
Sounds good.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Toy?
Mr. Chair, I give anybody in small business anymore a lot of credit because it's tough out there, especially in your food industry, and appreciate you wanting to expand your business in this regard. I know one of my colleagues down here, his family owns a restaurant, and that's a tough one. And so anything we can do to help you, short of, you know, whatever, but I'm just joking around with you, but honestly, anything we can do to help, I'm all about it, and I'll offer an approving resolution.
Thank you, Ms. Toy. Mr. Toromina, can you give us the details before we get too far
Yeah, so
down the road?
This does involve two different aspects. One is an outdoor patio, a small patio that would be placed in front of the business along the storefront. And you'll recall that was last December when the council granted a waiver use for this small distillery and tasting room. The tasting room is limited to 40 customer seats, and what they'd like to do simply is just to add a handful of outdoor seats in front of the business. It would be gated, it would be enclosed with a decorative fence. There would be only 6 chairs with 3 tables. That would be located on the sidewalk in front of the business, and there would be enough room per code to navigate the sidewalk between the patio and the parking lot. That's something that was discussed and verified at the Planning Commission. The other aspect of this request is the extension of the business hours. So Council Resolution 354-21 did limit the hours from noon to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and noon to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. The change would extend the hours from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Saturday and from noon to 2 a.m. on Sundays for the sale of alcohol. The petitioner has indicated that he does desire to stay open later for food service only. I will tell you that the adopted resolution, or the resolution presented to you by the Planning Commission, I believe restricts public entry into the establishment at 2 a.m. So it would prevent any patrons from coming in after 2 for food service only. So I believe it's the petitioner's intent to ask you to modify the language of that resolution to allow at least food service after those hours.
After 2 a.m.
After, I'm gonna.
Yes, that is correct. And the Michigan Liquor Commission has also agreed to let us operate that as well.
So, not to jump in here and cut off my colleagues, but do you really see there being a big market for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what hour are you talking about staying open until?
As of right now, it's looking like about 3 o'clock is where we kind of want to cut things at the time being. But as staffing changes, and then as our tourist attraction stuff for the state of Michigan goes through, they would like us to also be open more hours as well. because they'll give us a sign on the 96 as well.
The what?
We get tourist signs on the expressway for exits and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one, did I hear you correctly and say that they would like to open up at 7 AM?
That's my understanding, that's the request.
You know, I'll say this. I want you to succeed, and I'm all about expanding the hours. I don't support you opening a 24-hour business there
Okay.
in regards to this. And I think that would be unlike anything we have in the city in regards to an operation like this. 7 AM seems too early to me. After 2 AM seems too late to me. There's a window I'm willing to expand for my vote, and it kind of falls probably somewhere between 10:30 and 2 AM. If that makes sense. So.
I can understand that.
And I think there's just some, I mean, I'm one vote, right? I'm just giving you my feedback. I like everything else that you're doing here. And I think, the one thing that I'll kind of say, you know, doing what we do, we ask people, you know, we look at things that are happening in other communities and we say, like, how did this happen, right? Like, how did this case study develop into being this big success? And I think you can look at like Corktown in Detroit, this revitalization probably started with Slo's Restaurant being like a destination. And I would love you to be the kickoff of making that corner a destination and filling up that entire strip mall with all kinds of awesome, organic, local businesses. That would be amazing. No pressure here, but I want you to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like you to do it just in a way that's, at least initially, like, let's try and expand the hours the way we can and kind of go from there.
Right, and that's what we're doing. We're not going to be necessarily opening at 7 AM right now, because we still have to get staffing and everything else. It's just, those are the hours that are allowed by the state, and a lot of other businesses have that freedom to do that, and we kind of like to be unrestricted as time goes on, if it's possible.
Mr. Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Tormina, do we have any other 24-hour establishment restaurants in the city?
Used to.
Well, we certainly used to, years ago. I don't know how many there are today. There's probably a handful, but where they're located, I don't exactly know.
Yeah, sorry to put you
I'm
on this.
guessing they're mostly drive-up operations after those late hours, so.
Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot like that. I meet halfway with my colleague. I want you guys to be super successful. It's awesome to see this, the investment you're putting into this place. I'm comfortable with leaving it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not a fan of going past 2 AM. I think that's consistent with some other locations in the community, and I think 7 AM, that's fine. People want breakfast, I'm okay with that. I think that's consistent with breakfast spots that open up around 7 AM. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with going past 2 AM. I think 2 AM should be the cutoff there. But again, that's just one council member, but I look forward to seeing if this passes or not. A clarification point, I guess, as I continue to go on, the approving that was offered by my colleague, Councilwoman Toy, would that be approving to go past 2 AM, or would that be approving to stop at 2 AM?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, just for anybody on council or
I
Mr.
think
Tormina.
Mr. Tormina said that planning had said 3, right, Mark?
2.
I am going
did
to,
they say 3?
if you allow me,
Yeah.
quickly,
Sure.
the way the resolution currently reads is the hours of operation for public entry into the facility, including the tasting room, patio, and other retail operations, shall be limited to 7 AM to 2 AM, Monday through Saturday, and from noon to 2 AM on Sundays.
So it was limited.
So it
Yeah.
limits public entry up until 2 AM, I imagine.
Well, okay, well, thank you, Mr. Termina, and yeah, I'm okay with 2 AM and whatever my colleagues may like. Thank you to the petitioners. Thank you, Mr. President.
So, Mr. Tormina, can we do this with one resolution? Everything they're asking
Yes.
for?
Yes.
Okay. Any other comment from the council? I see none. 7 AM is fine.
Okay.
But you're gonna have to sleep at some point, so those 5 hours, I want you to rest up, all right?
Trust me, I know.
I don't know where this is. I would like this to go on the regular agenda
Okay,
as opposed to the consent.
so we still have the approving from 7 AM to 2 AM.
Okay,
but you have to come back to the next meeting, and we may ask you some additional questions.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there any possibility to at least move that to the 2:30, like every other liquor license? No.
No, not at this time. Not for mine.
I-
Somebody else wants to.
Go ahead.
I'm not aware, other than maybe Bar Louie, of Livonia bars that are open beyond 2 o'clock. And part of that is, I mean, you guys know your business, but part of it's a public safety concern too.
Correct.
You know, the police will tell you, right, nothing good happens after midnight. We understand in your business, some of your, you know, good businesses after midnight, but I think that 2 o'clock is a comfort point for me because it keeps with the norms of our community better than any time later than that.
Yeah, say most bars they do at 2 a.m., but the law, you know, they're allowed no serving after 2, but they're allowed that extra half an hour to clear.
I understand. Our community norm in Livonia, I think the only one that's ever stayed open recently until 2 is Bar Louie. Mark, I don't think, we're not a late night, early morning kind of community, but that said, I'm very excited and happy about your business. But 2 a.m. just feels to me what is right in keeping with our community. I shouldn't say feels to me, but I think reflects our community.
Okay. No additional comment from the audience. You will come back on the regular next time. And
Okay.
we'll talk about this and we'll vote, and we wish you well. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6 is a site plan petition from the Planning Commission, petition 2022080803, submitted by NC Designs and Contracting, Inc., requesting approval to remodel the interior and exterior of the existing gas station, Sunoco, at 27417 5 Mile Road, located on the southwest corner of 5 Mile and Inkster Roads in the northeast quarter of Section 24. Good evening, sir. Your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Nasser Shuker, 3241 South Telegraph, Dearborn.
Thank you, sir. Would you like to give us a brief introduction to what you'd like to do?
This is an existing gas station. We're remodeling exterior, interior, and we're cleaning up the site, putting new landscaping, and
Okay,
I'll leave
sounds
the
good.
rest.
Mark will provide us the details, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. This is a property on the southwest corner of 5 Mile and Inkster Roads. And this gas station actually dates back to the early 1950s. And in 1971 is when the station was last redeveloped. So what exists there today is from 1971. It does provide 2 auto repair service bays on the westerly part of the building. Those would be removed, and the entire building would be renovated, including the interior space and the exterior facade. So this is the new floor layout. So by eliminating the auto service center, they would convert this space for general retail. It would obviously enlarge the convenience store operations. This floor plan shows what that would look like. Would have a larger retail and display area, as well as walk-in coolers and freezers. There would be a coffee bar, utility room, a single restroom, office, and cashier counter. So this would just be a C-store operation, like many gas stations are today, with the point of sale as a cashier, as you can see here on the left-hand side of the drawing. This is what the building looks like today. It's the old colonial-style Sunoco. You can see the cupola and the weather vane are on top of the building. Those would be removed and replaced. This is what the modernization would look like. This building would have, would consist of mostly brick and stone. The peaked roof would remain, but it would be concealed behind the parapet walls. There would be some ephes, and then substantial amounts of the composite material or hardy plank would be used. That's the dark brown material. All new windows would be provided. They would relocate the entrance to the center of the storefront. They're not changing the pumps around, other than maybe some relabeling or imaging, depending on who what gas station this converts to. If it stays Sunoco, then maybe not, but if it's changed to another then that would be modified. All new landscaping would be provided, so the plans do include landscaping changes. Parking complies with the ordinance. We went over the dumpster with the planning commission. That will be fully enclosed now. It is not currently, and it'll be oriented properly on the site. And besides that, there are no other site improvements proposed other than to the building and landscaping. And Nasser is familiar. He has done many projects in Livonia, so we have a long working relationship with his design group.
Sounds good. Mr. Morgan?
Yes, I think this is probably long overdue for that corner. I'm happy to have someone stepping up and starting to do a little bit of construction and make it a nice corner. Appreciate that, and I would like to offer an approving for consent.
Anybody else from the council?
Mr. Chair,
I think Mr. Barr beat you out.
please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one question. Mark, I know Livonia has a long-standing practice of gas stations offering free air. I know that came up in the planning commission, but I didn't, unless I missed it, I didn't see that in the resolution. Is that purposely left out, or is that something that needs to be included?
It should be in there. If it's not, it should be, and I apologize. I'm gonna look right now.
Item 8.
Just want to make sure we stay consistent with that, because we've required it
I
of
think we mentioned
other
that
similar
also.
establishments. Usually planning catches it, but
Yes, condition number 8.
Is it? Okay, then I just missed it. Thanks for confirming. I do see that now, thanks. I'm good, Mr. President, thanks.
Ms. Toy?
Thank you. I just wanted to, our petitioner, commend you. I've had several seniors and a few other people that have some disabilities that have come to that gas station and said how wonderful they're treated, and if they need their gas pumped, they come out and pump their gas for them. So thank you very much for all you do in that respect as well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else from the council? Anybody from the audience? We have an approving for consent. At this time, there's no reason for you to come back to the next regular meeting. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Evening.
Okay, item number 7 is a request to approve increase in compensation for library page and student page classifications from the Department of Civil Service to be in the same compensation range as other library page and student page classifications in comparable communities. Ms. Laporte, Ms. Leibel, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Opening statements, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here to,
It was good.
We're here to request an increase in the compensation for the library page and student page classifications. Ms. Laporte did a wage study for us to show us what our surrounding communities are offering. We are going to change the starting wage to something a lot more competitive for the market, and then have 2 bumps following it to keep our new hires engaged.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Laporte?
Basically, our pages don't just sell books, they do a lot of other things. We just celebrated one of their 25th anniversary for a young man who started out as a young man working for us and has been here 25 years. And, you know, he does delivery to the branches, and he does, helps with the librarian with the homebound delivery. And they're pretty invaluable. We really couldn't exist without our pages. They're like the backbone of the library.
That sounds good.
Mr. Chair.
You should have said the binding of the library.
Oh, nice.
Come on. Can you give us a brief, just in general, the profile of a person who would fill such a role? And also, what do you look in the wage to be? Just for transparency issues, like not issues, but just so people understand. We have the information up here, obviously, but the public might want it as well.
Right, so we want to start at $11 per hour for the starting wage, and a step raise after 1 year to $11.75, and after 2 years to $12.75.
Okay. And the profile of the,
Oh, well,
the type of, like, I mean, are you looking for somebody with an associate's, a bachelor's, nothing, just a hard worker?
we start out with mostly teenagers in high school come to us for a job, and if we're lucky, they stay a long time through college and some even longer. But we also get people who have done their career already, have had a career, and they just want to work to keep busy or for a little bit of socialization. So, you know, we have a very varied staff, paid staff, from probably 16 to 70.
Awesome. Council, Mr. Barr?
Just having reviewed the documents, I think in today's environment, this makes sense. I'd offer it for consent if there's no objection.
Thank you. Anybody from the audience? I see none. We have an approving for the consent on item number 7. You're all set.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Item number 8 is a request to authorize a purchase of 63 cases of FOURSTAR 180-day briskets from the Department of Public Service for the 2023 mosquito treatment. Briquettes.
It's late.
Listen, that was the last one.
We're having a
I had
tough
to take
week.
the kids to school this morning, and it's been off ever since. Okay. This is coming to us from the DPW, Public Service Division, for the 2023 mosquito treatment program from budgeted funds. Who is going to be taking this? Anybody? Mr. Lear?
Yeah, I'll provide any information that you require. Basically, this is a yearly purchase for the mosquito dunks to try and keep the mosquito problem from getting out of hand. One note from Councilman McIntyre's comments earlier, this will not interfere with any of the bees. This is a larvicide that inhibits growth from one phase to the next of the life cycle of the mosquitoes. So it basically just keeps them from turning into the annoying pests. It's our yearly thing. Basically, we're just looking to get the approval to buy some more and do the dunks this year and keep going.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes, I would like to, you just drop them in the catch basins, correct?
Yeah, they're
And
a
that
slow
just fills
dissolve, so we throw them into the sumps and basically they stay in there until they dissolve, or we have to replace them if we do some structure cleaning or miscellaneous items.
Good enough. I would like to offer consent for approving.
Sounds good. I'd rather order some briskets,
Yes.
but we have an approving for consent on item number 8. That concludes our agenda for this evening. I will go back to the council. Any announcements from the council? I see none. Any audience communication? For some reason, there's nobody wants to talk to us. So we'll call it a good night, Livonia. Take care, be well.